What's up guys, it's Meg and welcome back to Meg After Dark. Today we're talking about the latest issue of The Walking Dead comics. Issue number 160 came out today. Okay, this is how excited I was for it. I got it and I immediately went to the car and read it in the car. So friggin' good. Okay, if you guys have read this issue, tell me what you think about it in the comments. For one, I could have told you from the very beginning of the Whisper War Part 1 that they were not going to attack Alexandria, that they were going to attack someplace like the Hilltop, because Rick was pulling resources from everywhere. He pulled resources from the Kingdom and the Hilltop, and he tried to pull them from the Sanctuary, but they wouldn't give him the men. And he pulled literally almost all of the good fighting men from the Hilltop, and now they're attacking the Hilltop, and Herschel, baby Herschel and Sophia are in a burning down building, and I'm kind of freaking out right now, you guys. So, for one, can we talk about how epic this cover is? Like, these covers are brilliant. I love it so much. For a second, I was like, who is that guy? And then I realized it was Rick, because we have not seen Rick fight like this for a very long time, have we? Let's hope that we can actually see him fight before the Whisper War is over, right? Because he's like an old man now. He doesn't really do very much. I mean, he tries, but man, he's getting up there, and well, he's not getting up there in age, but he's acting like he is because of all of his injuries, battle scars. This issue. Now, I have been slightly like let down by this Whisperer War so far, because I was expecting something more exciting, and like, yes, the issues have all been great, but it hasn't really been like the war that I was expecting. And we had this big walker herd, and so far in issues 1 through 3, or part 1 through 3, not issue, but part 1 through 3 of the Whisper War, it kind of seems like our group, like Dwight, has been leading everyone and doing really great, and Michonne, and like they've broken up, you know, Alpha's dead, and Beta's very injured, and they've kind of divided the herd. All of their plans have been working, and all of a sudden this issue, they even think, you know, Dwight and Michonne, and they stop and they even think that they've pretty much done it, like they've done it. And I don't know if I'm like misunderstanding. I'm not really traditionally a comic book reader, you guys. So the Walking Dead comics are pretty much the only comics that I have ever read, except for when I was young and I read like Archie. Okay, so sometimes it's kind of hard. I find it hard for me to follow. And so when we're in here, let me find the page. When we see Beta wake up and he asks, let's see right here. He wakes up, they say, he says, did you look at my face? I want to know what his face looks like. Is there something wrong with his face and that's why he doesn't want to show it? Like, I feel like he's like severely scarred or something. He says, so wave 2 was sent in. So I feel like our group was taking care of wave 1, and they have no idea that a wave 2 was coming, because it says then they should be reaching the Hilltop soon. And let me just tell you, I wish I had recorded my reaction to this, because my heart, like, well, it didn't really, but it felt like it stopped for a minute and it skipped a beat or something, because I was like, the Hilltop? Because we were expecting them to be heading to Alexandria, not the Hilltop. But I could have called it. Like, I feel like, I don't know if I ever said it on camera. I'd have to go back and look, but I just felt like so uneasy from the very beginning when Rick was pulling people from all of the, you know, from the Hilltop. And I felt so uneasy about the Hilltop being there and having nobody to fight if the Whispers were to attack there instead of Alexandria. And now that exact thing has come to pass, and it's awful. So apparently Beta has like 9 lives, because he is back up and at him again. He slept for a while and now he's good to go. And we kind of see, what I think is funny is that like Andrea is waiting at Alexandria, you know, like they're very prepared, waiting for everyone to come, and nobody's coming. And then, oh my god, these scenes with, okay, I'm all over the place because it's so exciting and yet terrifying at the same time. So first, let's talk about Dante and Maggie. Okay, I've been kind of rooting for Dante only because I want Maggie to be happy. Like, she's had such a huge loss, and oh, I'm gonna cry. This issue really hits close to home because we just watched the season 7 premiere, episode 1, where Glenn dies. Spoiler alert. And so reading this issue where Dante calls Maggie out of her room and says, meet me in the study, and he pretty much confesses like how he feels for her. And he says, like, we don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. And he's meaning like with the Whisperers, and you never know in this world that they're living in. You never know if tomorrow is your last day, or what will happen, or if it's somebody you love's last day, right? And so he pretty much confesses to her, that he wants to be with her. That it's not, even though he flirts a lot, like, he doesn't want anything to be misunderstood. Like, I want to be with you. And here I am, I'm rooting for her because I just want her to have a little bit of happiness, because after Glenn, it's so devastating, and she's taken on this role, this leadership role at the Hilltop, and it would just be nice for her to eventually have someone who cared about her. Not the same, I wouldn't pretend to say like, oh, it would be the same kind of love that she had with Glenn or anything, but just like feel a little bit of happiness there, and to not feel alone. And she just flat out says no. And I'll be honest with you, that took me off guard. But then at the same time, I understood her more, I guess. And she's like, no. And he's like, what? Like, what's wrong? And she's pretty much like, you're not my husband and I like you, but like, I'm happy when I think of him, and I'm being honest with you. And it's so frustrating. So like, I get it kind of, because how long has it been since Glenn died in the comics? Like, up until like the present day. If you guys know, let me know, because I feel like it's been a while, but probably not long enough, right? I mean, hasn't it been like over a year? Because after All Out War, and Glenn died even before that, but after All Out War, there was a big time jump, right? Wasn't there like a pretty big time jump from when that ended and they took Negan prisoner to when we see Alexandria like thriving and flourishing, and then we have the fair. Wasn't that a pretty big time gap? So I feel like it's been a little while, but obviously, like, even a year, like, you don't move on from the love of your life that quick, if ever. But part of me just wishes that she would just like open the door a little bit, just to like see what happens, and just to like see if she could feel anything else. It makes me sad, and it makes me sad for Dante, especially because he's like pouring his heart out to her, and she's just like, nope, sorry. Moving along though, we see Carl get up at night, and that's when the attack starts. And oh man, it is pretty terrifying, to be honest with you, because they don't really have anybody there, and they have like one line of men, and they're trying, and then you realize like, oh my god, there is not only a giant herd outside of the wall, but there are also like Whisperers with bow and arrows, and it's like, it's insane, okay? And we thought we got off easy with this war, right? And Carl is lucky to be alive. I love that scene where he like crouches down amidst all of the flaming arrows coming down, and then he stands up and he's like patting himself like, I'm alive, okay? And oh guy, these couple pages of like Dante trying to fight, and it is so scary, and like literally no one is coming to their rescue, right? Because you don't have phones, you don't have anything, like nobody's coming to save them. And then we get that moment where they've come back for Lydia, and I don't know, one of these Whisperers, it's not Beta, but this Whisperer says, we've come back for you, and she just shoots him in the face, and she's like, this is my home now. And man, if we ever doubted Lydia, we don't have to doubt her anymore. She just straight up shot the dude in the face, and she is fighting for her home. And we are left on this cliffhanger of not only walkers and whisperers completely invading the hilltop, but also the home, the building where baby Herschel and Sophia are, is burning down, and we see Maggie rushing into a burning building, and I am getting like chills just thinking about it. It's like, can you imagine if the baby died? Oh God, well, he's not really a baby anymore, but still. Oh man, okay. This is a 10-minute video already, and I feel like all I've said is, oh my gosh, this issue was amazing. I cannot wait to see what happens in part 5 and 6. I am really crossing my fingers that the kids don't die and Dante doesn't die. What if Dante dies? Ugh. And I don't want Lydia, like, I'm hoping nobody dies up there. Okay guys, that's it for my review. I absolutely love this issue. I cannot wait to see what happens in issue or in part 5 and 6. Will baby Herschel survive? Will Sophia survive? Like, oh man, how will they get any help? Like, is Dwight and Michonne going to realize like that they need help and they're gonna, you know, come to the hilltop? Like, how is anyone gonna know? So crossing my fingers here. Let me know what your predictions for issue, why do I keep saying issue 5? For part 5, issue 161 in the comments. Tell me what you thought of this issue. Did you love it? Did you expect them to attack the hilltop as well? I mean, I feel like it was kind of obvious, but maybe I'm wrong here. And do you want to see Rick fight like this? Because I sure as hell do. Okay guys, I love you. I will see you next time. I hope you have a great night.